Here we're looking at prompts and actions. So now we know what a prompt is, it's time to learn about how affiliates can use prompts effectively inside of BoostBox. Looking at the first example, we're going to look at writing a blog post, also in multilingual for SEO purposes. So here's a prompt I've prepared earlier. It says, write a comprehensive 500-word post about the current offers for new and existing players and the VIP program. Optimize for the keyword double play bonus, following SEO best practices and Google guidelines. So once I've entered in that prompt, and I can adjust that as I need, I simply click on the button there to generate that prompt. And as you can see, the system is now dynamically generating all that information based on what the context is of this particular brand, being BetChris, and now it has generated that blog post. I'm then able to ask it additional questions or give it additional instructions as to what I want from this article. So in this case, I'm actually going to ask it to write me a couple of meta tags and descriptions so that I can utilize those in my blog. So what it's going to do now, it's reanalyzing the content that it just produced. And now it's produced two different meta tags because that's what I asked it to do. One for new player version and one for an existing player version. I might decide that I want to blend those two together. So I can ask it to do that as well. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ask it to add an affiliate disclaimer. So add an affiliate disclaimer stating that I may receive compensation for this promotion. And then it's going to basically generate either that section separately or it'll amend the whole article. In this case, it's going to amend the whole article. And if we look at this page in a second, we'll see that it puts in a disclaimer. The disclaimer can be found here, affiliate disclaimer. Of course, we suggest that the affiliate edits this article as needed as well. The next thing we're going to do is get it to change this into Portuguese. So I'm going to say write a Portuguese version for the Brazilian market. And now what it's going to do is it's going to convert this into Portuguese for us. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly test the quality of that Portuguese. So the way we're going to test that is we'll just go into Google. Coming now into Google, we're going to ask for the translation here. We can take a section of this. Google Translate won't allow me to take an article that big. So if we enter in Portuguese, and it translates it out the other side. Of course, once again, like anything, we don't say to rely on it 100%, but you can see there from the quality of the content in Google Translate that the translation is very good. And coming back again to our article, I'm going to say, maybe I have a different website. I want to rewrite this in English from scratch, maintaining the same information, but with an entirely new wording and structure. And basically now what it's going to do is it's going to rewrite that entire article completely differently from the last time. Obviously pulled back the same image, but this will be a completely different article to the first one that you just saw. The next thing I want to show you is the copy and paste. So here I click on copy to clipboard and a disclaimer is added in here. Obviously, sometimes the content needs to be reviewed, or we recommend it just to make sure that it's correct in terms of compliance and any other information. So effectively, the affiliate has to agree that it may not be 100% accurate and that they acknowledge they're responsible ultimately for this content. So they click accept and copy, and that is now copied to the clipboard. We're just going to go now to Copyscape. Copyscape is a tool that's used to check for plagiarism and to see how much of this content is actually out there on the internet, potentially on another website. So we're going to put that in there. We're going to click on Scan Now. And once we do that, we'll click on premium search and it's going to come back and tell us how much of this content was found on another website. And so as you can see, text was pasted and out of those 760 words, there's no copy content from anywhere. BoostBox will generate unique content every single time. Of course, there are some things that it can't avoid sometimes, like commonly used phrases together, but for the most part, is very good at writing content from scratch, which isn't copied directly from any other website on the internet. The next example I want to show you is for writing a review. So we're going to do a very simple prompt, write a casino review following Google SEO best practices. So once again, we click on the generate button. Generally, the first time it runs, it takes a little bit longer and depending on the complexity of the query that's been running. But as you can see there, now this review is being generated. Once a review is generated, I might say, well, I don't like a certain part of this. So I might say the brand overview, or let's choose a different section. Give me, say, this section here. I might like to say, rewrite this section to include, as an example, rewrite the section to include the available games at this casino. So this one here, I'm going to say that. And now I've pasted that section in, so I'm saying rewrite it to include the games. And now what it's going to do is it's going to add that section in and include the games that are available. And here we have that new section now. So it's said including popular games like slots, roulette, table games, etc., etc. And so that's just a way that you can actually ask it questions about the output that you've already generated. And this is not a great example for this brand, but I could also now say something like, ensure the content complies with the ASA and UK Gambling Commission guidelines. It's obviously not relevant for Betcris, but you get the idea. And basically now it's going to review that content that's just been generated and make sure that it's not saying anything that is out of line with the ASA rules. And obviously you can see there, it's generated a result where it's put a link through to Gamble Aware, and it would have put in other information as well, which means that it's not breaching those ASA or Gambling Commission rules. I often get questions about, what other kinds of prompt formats or output formats can it do? So just to give you an example of some of those, like give me 5 content ideas for promoting this brand to new players. And now the system's going to go off. It's going to work out from the content that's in this brand, what would be some of the things that would be good to be able to promote as an affiliate. So it's come back with those 5 ideas. So welcome bonus promotion, create content around the welcome bonus, highlighting benefits of new users, etc., etc. One for the loyalty program, and so on and so on. So it can actually give affiliates ideas about how best to promote your brand. The other thing is like producing, say, an FAQs. So create an FAQ response about account security and safety features. And obviously this is all going to be based around information for Betcris, and there you've got the Q&As. So it's talking about, how does Betcris ensure security and safety of my account? And then all this information about secure sockets, password protection, regular security audits, responsible gaming, license regulations, etc., etc. So it's a great system to be able to just quickly and easily produce that information without the affiliate having to go and research all this information about what security measures and safety is for players at Betcris. Another example of the type of content that an affiliate could write is, write me an educational content about blackjack rules and basic strategy. And then we can say at Betcris in this case as well. And so we can generate this. You don't necessarily have to put in the Betcris, but in this case I will. It's just an added extra piece that the system picks up to promote Betcris as an affiliate, but generally it's actually all automated and built in. And then it's going to run through all the strategies and everything that a player might want to see in terms of playing blackjack at BetChris. So as you can see, here's some additional tips that it's added in for that, but generally that'll be all the rules that an affiliate might want to write an article about blackjack. Another use case would be to write a video script. So create a script for new players explaining how to get started. So if the affiliate produces TikTok videos or maybe YouTube videos, they're able to generate and write the scripts. Now, the great thing again is because all this content that is being generated is based on information about BetChris and how BetChris operates, or, obviously for every brand it's different, but it has produced that script to tell you, okay, this is what I think is the best idea for your script. And of course, the affiliate can go through and edit that, make changes as they see fit before they record that video. The next one is looking at, say, social media. Obviously, some brands allow it, some don't, but, write a social media post about responsible gambling tools and player protection. And so this time it's going to be a much shorter piece of content. In this case, it's actually decided to give several different options. So we can see here a concise one, a detailed one, and emphasis on support. So it gives you those variations. You might then wish to ask it to combine those or do alterations, etc. But yeah, that is another use case. So you can use that for creating social media. Another great example of a prompt that you could run as well is something like, create a social media caption template for collecting player testimonials and feedback. So if an affiliate wanted to put a testimonial section on their website, which a lot of them do under reviews, and they have access to be able to get that kind of feedback from players at BetChris, this is basically built up a template to get that feedback from players. So as you can see, there's many different use cases there for different kinds of prompts. Another type of use is for rewriting a piece of content. So let's say an affiliate finds a piece of content or a review on another site that they quite like. They can basically ask it to rewrite this content with fresh wording and structure. Do not keep any words. Avoid duplicate content issues that could affect my SEO of my website. And then they might go to that website, copy some text, and then here I've got an example. So here's a piece of content that's copied about a review at BetChris, and so then I could generate that, and basically it's going to give the same output, but it's going to be completely different piece of content for that particular use case. Looking now if an affiliate needs to use it as like a research tool. So obviously people are transitioning over from doing Google type searches, but a Google type search would be, where is this brand licensed? It's still a prompt, but most people are transitioning over from doing Google type structured searches to prompts, which are obviously more advanced. Now, I'm going to explain more about prompting augmentation content later, but the system will still generate great results for little questions like, what is the support options and contact details? Obviously, the previous one was about, where is the brand licensed and operated? Who's it operated by? That all information is very easy for affiliates to be able to pull back rather than them having to go to your brand website and look up this particular information. So here's the brand contact details, and it links through to the page as well where the information is available from, which is great. Obviously, a very important one in the iGaming sector. What are the terms and conditions of the bonus information? So once again, instead of the affiliate having to go through and wade through the bonus terms and conditions, the system will automatically pull that back. So it's talked about reload bonus and what the playthrough amount is, etc., and which games may be bonuses and not applied to. Other simple questions that an affiliate could ask is, what deposit options are available? Obviously, many affiliates want to be able to show that information to prospective new players because a lot of them will still be wanting to not only tell information about what kinds of payment methods, but some affiliates actually target those payment methods as a keyword to rank for, say, deposit using, pays, or some other, or payphone. Wagering requirements, obviously another very popular one. So once again, the affiliate doesn't have to go and work out what the wagering requirements are. BoostBox as a system knows all this information about what is going on. And here you can see what those wagering requirements are. So 5 times rollover. As we also index the information about the affiliate program, the affiliate can ask questions about, how do I contact my affiliate manager? The next one after this that I'll run through is, how commissions calculated. So those kinds of questions, as long as the content is in the context of the information that we've brought into the system, that information will come back so that the affiliate can use that. So in this case, affiliates at Chris, so that's that information, also can be contacted via Skype. Um, if this information doesn't exist, then obviously an affiliate can't ask the questions. So some brands choose not to have a marketing facing website, which means we can't pull in that information, but others do have very comprehensive information. So in this case, we can look at the commission levels, et cetera, that are available for an affiliate. So all this information has been pulled from the affiliate section at Betcris, and they have that information, and they might even want to ask a question like, when do my commissions get paid? As long as the system knows or has ingested this information, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, the affiliate will be able to pull back this information. So it talks about the contract, what's involved, when the payments are going to be made, whether or not there's any withholding, time for commissions, et cetera. And then you can see that information on other pages where it's referenced as well. So here's the terms and conditions of the affiliate program where it's pulled all that information in from. This concludes this section, which basically covers prompts and the various ways that they can be used by an affiliate inside of BoostBox.